everybody, and welcome to the P Podcast, the Barcelona International Dance Exchange podcast. Today, in our episode number 63, we have the lucky of being talking with our dear friend Misha Van Leeuwen. Hi, Misha. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Hi, Sebastián.
So, first of all, where you are now, Misha? From where you are talking to?
I'm at home, sitting on the table in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands, having this conversation with you. Or we're just going to start.
Yes, great. So it's super nice you start from Barcelona and connecting with our dear Rotterdam City. Sorry. So first of all, we used to first ask you, our guest, before we dive into what they are doing, is who they are. So if we can help us with that. So if I ask you, who is Misha? You know what Misha do, that we'll be talking about that later, but how you define yourself in the current days?
Yeah. Well, I'm Misha Van Leeuwen. I'm a 45-year-old man from the Netherlands. I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer, and I'm also co-founder and co-artistic director from the RIDCC, and that stands for Rotterdam International Duet Choreography Competition. And that's what I'm doing together with my wife. Next to that, I'm also a dad of 2 children. I have a wife then, I just mentioned that already. Sort of a short little thing about myself.
Great. And if we go a little more deeper, you was born and raised there in Rotterdam, or from where you came from?
Well, actually, I'm born close to the Afsluitdijk. That's the big dike in the north of Holland, and that place called Den Oever, and it's placed in Wieringen. But after 3 months, my parents, they moved to Amsterdam. So I grew up in Amsterdam. Also, if people hear me talking Dutch, you can hear my accent, typically Amsterdam accent. But when I started dancing in Scapino Ballet, I moved actually towards Rotterdam, and actually that's where I'm based now. We have a house here. My children were born in this city. So I'm a bit mixed, Amsterdam, Rotterdam. But actually more than half my life I'm already living in Rotterdam. So born and raised Amsterdam and living my life in Rotterdam.
Super.
Yeah.
And we shared a few weeks ago when we met in Portugal, in Almada, about your stopping dance activity, and because you define yourself really like with who you are, where you are, and what they are doing, and of course about your family. So in what type of shape you are right now, when you are changing a bit of your let's say daily relationship with movement?
Yeah, that's crazy also, because after 25 years I had a jubileum in August. I was celebrating 25 years in the company where I'm dancing, and I actually recently stopped dancing in the company. Since August I stopped my contract because I thought it was enough. I didn't have the passion or the fire in me anymore to do one more year with the company, because in a steady company it's kind of busy. It's sort of like a fabric, you just have to create and work, and I'm in that point of my life that I didn't feel the fire anymore. So I made a decision after being exactly 25 years in the company to actually stop dancing in the company. Not that I stopped dancing totally, but at the moment, yes, I'm just finding out new things. What you said, we met in Portugal. I'm visiting now a lot of dance festivals and scout artists who maybe can join the competition I have, or networking, meeting people like yourself, of course. So this is now a little bit my life. So I'm more on the background in the dance world than really being on stage in the spotlight. And at the moment, it feels really wonderful. This is where I'm at now. And physically, I'm not that fit than a couple of months ago, but I need to go start doing some training and exercises again. But for now, it's also nice to you don't have to do anymore. You don't have to be sort of fit to be on stage, or like the necessity is a little bit gone. And actually, I really like that at the moment.
Great. Really clear. And what do you feel that I mean, during these days, you bring to the table of this performing arts planet? What is the Misha contribution? Or what type of not just from the proposal. I mean, from your way as you live and see dance from your perspective, of course.
Well, like I grew up in the company. I actually have been dancing for 25 years. When I came in the company, I was an internship. I just got taken from school, and my last year of school, I was already in the company. So, like I slowly was building my career in that company. After a certain point, 10, 12 years, I got sort of the face of that company, and everybody who knows the company knows me actually, or when they think about Scapino Ballet, they see my face, because I'm on the posters, I'm doing the main roles. And so they let me grow there. Also, I made my first choreographies in the company, and slowly, I'm working with so many different choreographers, and also young choreographers and emerging choreographers. And at one moment, we me and my girlfriend, then why is there not a competition here in Holland? Because in Germany there is, and because we also joined the solo competition in Stuttgart. And there's many more competitions in Europe, and Holland is actually a very big dance world, a dance country with lots of big companies and lots of great choreographers coming from here. And we were just questioning ourselves, why is there not a competition here in Holland? So while we're working with all these young and emerging artists, we were also questioning them, why is this? And do you think it's a sort of necessity to have that in Holland? And so we created it, and actually it's a big success. And in five years, we exploded. Everybody knows us, and we have a very big prize as well. This is what I'm doing a little bit. So I evolved as a young guy, came from school in the company, and sort of saw what actually was needed also in Holland, and we just jumped on that empty hole, and it goes actually pretty well.
Super. And how is this? You name about the competition, and making something from scratch. That we both knows how to start something from an idea or discussion, to basically make it happen. So how was this? If you can also share us a bit about these early stages of the conception of this competition.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, because we're always traveling with the big bus, to the shows with Scapino Ballet, because we're a travel company in Holland. And we were actually going to Maastricht, and we had a show, and we were sitting always on the back seat, me and my girlfriend, and we were just brainstorming, also what I just said, why is there not a competition here? So we said, okay, we're gonna fix it. So we had the paper, we wrote some things down, what we thought is necessary to sort of build this. And we started talking with the theater back in Rotterdam when we came back the next day, and slowly also with the business director of Scapino Ballet. And we had this idea, and he said, well, you actually have to write a plan, you have to ask money, you have to ask subsidy. We're just two dancers, we didn't know what to do or whatever. So we started talking to people, and with also foundations, how we could get the money. And we're two dancers, and we are very enthusiastic about it, and it's our passion, and there's not a big company behind us. It was just two brains from the field want to do this. So slowly we start talking with people, and everybody was willing to help us. And we could hire actually somebody who would write plans for us, because also we didn't know how to do that. We had our ideas, and we were talking with this woman who actually wrote our plans. So actually she translated our stories, our ideas into a plan. We could send that to subsidies and ask money for that. And yeah, I also know the first thing, actually the first money we got, it was like on a pitch, also through internet. There was this small amount of money, I think it was a 10,000 euros they still had to give away. And we got like 550 euros from that. So we could, yeah, it's nothing, but we could build our website from that, like from scratch, a little thing. Okay. So slowly, like things were getting alive, and then we were also discussing like, okay, what's actually the best option to help young and emerging artists? Like, what is a good value? What's a nice prize to win? And we're always like, okay, it's very good that they can come into a company or to a production house or maybe into a school to really start working on their craftsmanship instead of maybe winning 3,000 euros or 2,000 euros. Not that that's anything wrong with that, but we were like, okay, what is going to bring them further? You know, like if you have this money, 2,000 or 3,000 euros, what are you going to do with that? You know, you're going to pay your rent, and maybe you do some grocery shopping, you rent a studio maybe for a week or a couple of days. Then that money is gone. Like if you win a prize, and I don't want to call it a prize, I actually want to call it a wait a minute. Well, a prize, an opportunity. That's the word I was looking for. We create opportunity, so you can win an opportunity. The opportunity is like if you can work on your craftsmanship in a company with different dancers than you're used to, or in a production house with different dancers than you're used to, because then the real craftsmanship comes up and you actually grow as a choreographer. Or this is my idea. Everybody has a different idea, of course. So yeah, then we start doing that. We start talking to companies first in Rotterdam, because we have quite some, and everybody was really like up for it to join and to hand out a prize. And then we started to go more into the whole national. We started like asking all the companies sort of in Holland, first the bigger ones, and then also the smaller ones and the production houses, and everybody was enthusiastic about it and wanted to help. And now we have like 14 companies who hands out opportunities actually, and for 16 participants, so everybody can sort of win something where they can actually grow into the next thing they want to do. Yeah, so this is actually sort of what we do and what we thought of doing, and it's actually working. So I'm really glad that we took this step, and it's a beautiful thing. It's fulfilling to help others. If I had such an amazing career, and for me it's time to help others who just starting or are really busy for a couple of years, to help out. It's something to give back to the dance world.
And it's beautiful because it's a lot of work, and it's something that, of course, when we met last year in Jerusalem, really ring me a bell in our first little chat. It was about this generosity, to help the people who are coming, after us, to take the flame, let's say, or the flag. And so, of course, congrats for this amazing job that you are doing. And I want to ask you, because we spoke last week with Lali, our previous guest, about this difference between how the younger creators, let's say youngers, under 25, because now young is like under 40, every year being young is like we are supposed to be young, you and I, but we are not young anymore. But you have the chance also with your partner to being crafting and permeate with a lot of new talents and people who are young. And I want to ask you what difference you find if you compare when we was young, being at the same age into the dance world, because a lot of things are changing. So what is your take in how you see the young generations approach to the performing arts and especially to the dance world?
Yeah. Well, also like with young artists, I don't mean like under 25 or something, because for me also a young artist can also be like a choreographer from 50 years old who just starting making choreography.
Absolutely.
Like, so you're just new in the world of creating something for a stage. That's what I want to say about the young thing. But the other thing is like what I actually see. Like dance is always evolving. Like it's always changing. You see combination of different styles and. Like when it was really hot when I was young to have high legs and point your feet and you're kicking your leg high, last decade, like that's not the case anymore. Like dance is always changing. They have new ideas and they get inspired by different things. Yeah, so like you see dance evolving as well, but it's also very hard to find something totally new because sort of everything is sort of done. But if you can combine it again with something else, like a different dance style or a different approach, you can find something, a new language in dance. And so this is actually what we're looking for, and it's very tough, it's very hard, and but it's beautiful if you find it. These little diamond things, like they just pop up and you're like, wow, I haven't seen this before, or this is the things what I are really looking for. And of course you cannot always find it, and you have to appreciate also the other people, what they do, what they make. And it's about feeling. What do you feel with art? Like you cannot say this is good, this is bad, and this is what I'm looking for. It has to just overcome you. You have to watch it, you have to feel something with it, and then you can also, in a technical way, you can see if a choreography is good when how they use the space and the lines, and like all this actually bullshit, I find, because it's more about what the feeling you get when you watch something, like what it does with you. Do you have a discussion about it later? Do you have something to say about it? Or was it just nice to watch? Or is it like goes deeper? And like sometimes when people say, I didn't feel this, but people keep on talking about it, and then I think it's good, because like it makes something loose in the way of you want to express it about it, and it has to do something with you. But what I maybe feel when I see something, you for instance feel something totally different, and that's the beauty of art. Like it's not only about the dance, but also when you walk into a museum and you look at paintings or something, like some things I like but my girlfriend doesn't like. Like it's an opinion, it's a feeling what you get with it. And that's what the same thing for me with dance and choreography. It has to give me something. Yeah.
No, it's super clear, and because somehow you describe, besides the question of what is new nowadays, this newest possible answer comes from this idea that you just shared. What happens to you when you witness something that is maybe touching you or connecting you, and it is so personal,
Yes.
that is quite challenging to translate to other ones, and of course also I appreciate the bullshit side of your reflection. I mean, so and also besides also adding to this maybe aesthetic vocabulary ideas on the stage about these younger generations. What do you feel about the commitment, this evolving that you said? What is for you evolving?
Well, I think the young generation has also their will in about what they want to achieve and where they want to go, and there's nothing different than what I feel when I was younger, for instance, and work with different choreographers. And I think it's now the same thing. Sometimes they want things too fast, but I think that's just a generation. That's just life, how it's been living at this moment. With phones and social media, everything has to be fast and quick and sharp, and like it has to be finished already yesterday. It was always like this, but now you can show it because everybody shows it on a timeline or whatever. So it's just a different generation, how they approach things and how fast they want them to go. Like, but some people, like they also look into it and they said, well, I can create something, but actually I rather have like a research period, because I'm going too fast, I'm creating too much. I need to go back to my roots, to my core, to see what I'm actually about, and what kind of work I really want to make. So sometimes they also take a step back and reflect on how much they're actually creating, and not feeling comfortable anymore with what they did. So then they want to have research periods, and that's only beautiful, because then you actually make steps, in my opinion, to grow as an artist, because you're questioning yourself as well. Like, what did I make? Is it still, do I still stand behind it or not? Or yeah, this is a bit of what I think. It just goes. It's a different generation, but in the dance world, things will always sort of stay the same thing, because it's movement. Like everybody can move. If you move, you can dance. We don't have to actually talk about different styles. In my opinion, it's all the same thing, just with a different jacket on.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And what do you feel that, now going back to you, the dance keep you back, especially in this period that you are kind of, saying goodbye to, let's say, one side of yourself with the dance. And what do you feel is coming to you, not just for the experience in the body, also from as you said, from the reflections, or for the questions, or for possible answers, or maybe the dance didn't give you anything back, but I don't think so in your case.
No, well, for me personally, dance saved my life. Like if it wasn't for dance, I would be in the gutter. Like I don't have a school diploma. I came from a broken family. I was always on the streets doing stupid shit. It saved my life. It took me off the streets. It gave me something to hold on and to build a life on. And yeah, it gave me so much. It gave me my life. Actually, it's part of me. It's the only thing I know actually as well. Yeah, if it wasn't for dance, I would be or in jail, or I would be a criminal, or I would be a bum, or whatever. Yeah, it gave me everything actually.
Wow. And what are your references in all these past, since you was really young and you said, okay, let's try this?
Well, that's crazy. Like when I was very young, 5-6 years old, I was watching a lot of movies on VHS tapes. A lot of people maybe who listen to the podcast don't know what it is, but it's big cassette tapes. You have to put in a big machine, and you see a movie. So I was watching a lot of Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, like karate style, and I was watching a lot of John Travolta, like Saturday Night Fever, Grease. And then I was like, wow, this dude is pretty cool. I want to do that too. So when I was 6 years old, I went to an amateur ballet school, and it opened up my mind. It was like a sort of getaway from my home situation, what was not so beautiful. And I came there every Wednesday afternoon, and I got treated like a little prince by all the girls who were there dancing as well, the older but the same age as me, but also the teacher. She took me in, and it was a match made in heaven for me. So every Wednesday afternoon, I always went to dance. I had to fight a lot of times on the street because they thought it was not cool, because it was not football, and you were a bit of a pussy when you were dancing. I don't see myself as a pussy, but it took me on a different road. Afterwards, I got asked by the National Ballet Academy, the classic department of the academy, if I wanted to do audition for the school. First, I didn't want that, and the second year they asked me again, so I went there, and then I started doing the academy, and then I just roll into it, and it became also a way of living for me. Like always training, doing the ballet classes, doing the partnering classes, and showing people around Amsterdam, because that was in Amsterdam still, and that was just it was a routine. I didn't stop till actually last August. It just went on and on and on, and always training and always performing and getting into a company, and So yeah, that's actually how I started it.
Super.
Yeah.
Super. So thank you so much. So for just going into the end of this amazing podcast, and also, you know, feeling all your energy. You know, Misha, for the ones who are listening, he's a really energy and tall guy, you know, but you are really energetic. Sorry. We start a game this year with our guest, and the game is about leaving a question to the next guest. You know, so you have a question that somebody left for you, but what would you like to ask to our next guest in the next episode?
What would you like to change in the dance world?
Great. So you have two questions, because our last guest, Lalia Iguade, wanna make like four questions. Say, no, just two. And she left. I say first in Spanish and then I translate, because we like to also to make that in the language that everybody are pursuing. So the first question is, si te ha gustado tu pasado y dónde estás hoy. The second question. So if you are okay with your past, yeah, and where you are today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I already just said it in my story, you know, like that saved my life. Like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have such a great life, actually. Yeah, you know, like, and this is maybe just materialistic as well, but you know, like I'm living in a very nice house. When I was a kid, we were living like in a very small house. I have two children, what give me a lot back. Like everything, what was there, what is now, like I think I enriched my life in every possible way. Yeah, I have a good life, man. I'm very pleased and with my life at the moment. Yeah.
Well, I'm super happy that you are feeling like this, and I'm super certain that this is what is happening with you. So thank you so much, Misha. It was an absolutely pleasure to hear you and to share and to know you a bit more, and of course we see you next week, no?
For sure, yeah, in Las Palmas, yes.
In case so I suppose that when this podcast be out, we'll be together in Canarian Islands. So thank you so much again.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Sebastián.
This was episode number 63 of our podcast, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.